So, I was thinking when I was doing that last video about boundaries, and if you missed it, you can get it. You know how to get it. All right. So, I was thinking as I was doing this last video about boundaries, about how hard it could be to say no. I think we need to talk about that. What do you think? Welcome back to my channel. I am Stephanie D. McKenzie. You're probably your favorite empowerment coach. Actually, I'm probably the only empowerment coach that you know, but that's okay. I'll tell you the truth, guys. I have been in coaching for a long time and I actually coach my clients in a lot of areas. And so people usually ask me like, what's your specialty? And I say results. But I think some people might have thought that sounded a little cocky. And so I said, okay, empowerment. Because I know that when you're empowered to do things, to be things, to show up fully, to be your favorite self, then everything changes. Your money changes, your life changes, your business changes, your relationships change. Everything changes. So if you're in the mood for some changes, I tell you what you can do right now is like this video, subscribe and tap that bell. I'm just saying, it's just something you can do. But let's talk about how to say no, because I know that a lot of people feel some type of way about saying no. And I think there's a lot of energy, resistance. That's the word I'll use. There's a lot of resistance to saying no to people because if you're so used to saying yes, saying no just feels weird. It can. And that's fine. Just be honest about that. Like saying no feels weird. And it's mostly because here's the thing, many of us in the people pleasing part of the program learn to get our sense of worth from doing, sorry, and not being. Y'all know I don't do edit, so whatever comes up comes out. If it comes out wrong, I'll just correct it. Anyway, so we've gotten our sense of worth from doing and not being. And so inherently, when somebody asks us to do something, we're like, okay, yes, 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 because that's where I'm getting my sense of worth. That's how I'm coming in hot, letting you know that I am a valuable individual. And I'm like, listen, until we get to the point where we can be worthy in our being, literally sitting here with a little shoulder cleavage, then we're going to have a problem. Because at that point we're making our sense of worthiness performative. It is contingent upon performance. And I'm like, listen, you are the hottest thing on the planet, the baddest thing on the planet, the most amazing thing on the planet when you are in your bed just waking up, drool coming down your face, crust in your eye, horrible morning back, come on in. You're still worthy, you're amazing even then. And so a lot of times I've had to, basically deprogram and reprogram people to understand that you're worthy in your being. And I know you're probably saying, you don't know my life. I don't, but I know a few things, right? And I remember when, it would be hard for me to say no. And I mean, even when I didn't want to do it, just didn't say no, because I felt like in some respects somebody needed me and I didn't want to let them down in needing me. And I also needed to prove that I was worthy of being needed. I know it sounds crazy when it comes out of my mouth, but that's how I felt. And not only do people have an issue with saying no, right? They have an issue with saying no without explanation. This would be a great time. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So we can stay connected, because I think if you've made it this far into the video, we probably have some things to talk about. And I think you might actually like it here. Okay, great. So no is a full sentence. Let's start there. No is a full sentence. I can't is a full sentence. I don't want to, full sentence. But there's something about that two-letter no, N and O, that make us spin out, right? Some people spin out. I remember when I used to spin out. Now I tell you no like a champ. Like if saying no was an Olympic sport, I would have the gold. Okay, just call me the Simone Biles of no. Because at the end of the day, I realized a few things. Here's what happens when you tie your worth to your doing. One, you can never do enough. So in some respects, you really just set yourself up for the self-sabotage of trying to find worthiness and trying to prove your worthiness to other people. You've given people the power to decide whether you're worthy or not. You were worthy from the moment you burst through and was like, that's that. And actually, you were worthy even before then. But that's a whole different video. Okay, great. If y'all want to have like a spiritual conversation, put spiritual in the comments and let me know that might be someplace that we need to go. Because being spiritually empowered, yes, that would excite me greatly. So if that's important to you, put that in the comments. Okay, so the other thing is that when you don't say no, what you're inherently doing or inevitably doing is saying that your needs don't matter. How many times have you said no when you wanted to say yes? How many times have you said yes when you wanted to say no? Think about it, right? But in that quest to feel worthy, to demonstrate your value, what is happening is that you're not saying no when you need to say no. You're saying yes. And the truth of the matter is, you could be tired. You could not want to do it. You could want to do something else. Listen, I am the person who used to tell people, hey, I don't have any appointments available at 3 p.m. most weekdays. I would block that time in my calendar. Well, what were you doing, Stephanie? I mean, were you involved in some other thing? Did you have another meeting? No, I was watching Charmed. Yeah, I was watching whole Charmed. Alyssa Milano, what's her name? Holly Marie Combs, Shannon Doherty, Charmed on TNT. That's what I was doing. And that was important to me. And it was so important to me that I didn't want to be disturbed. And that's the thing. One of the things, of course, if you're a high achieving individual and you can, kind of wrap your mind around that, right? More than likely you are empathic, intuitive. You feel a lot, right? You're like this emotional sponge at this point, but we're going to work on that too. And so in that, you need to recharge, and you can't recharge if you keep going, like you're the Energizer Bunny. That's not how any of this works. Seriously, it's just not. So when you're not saying no, or saying no and not meaning it, you're basically saying that I'm available to whomever, even though I don't need to be available to them. I need a nap. No. I don't want to. No. That's doing too much. No. I don't have any gas in my car and I don't feel like gassing up to drive across town. No. No, you're entitled. See, we talked about entitled people. Listen, the one thing you can learn about entitled people is that, listen, they know, trust, and believe that they are entitled to what they want. So listen, you're entitled to your no. Completely entitled. You, and even you over there. You're entitled to your no. Because your no says to everything else that I'm saying yes to me. Now, sometimes you need to say yes and you say no because you don't want to get out and you don't want to be bothered, and that's fine. Sometimes you're saying no to having a good time because you said yes to yet another obligation. In all things, we need balance. Okay? But I'm going to focus on how to say no, or I'm focusing on how to say no, because that seems to be one of the biggest challenges. How do I say no? Did I let this person down? Depends. If they're entitled, probably not. If they genuinely needed your help, okay. Sometimes you have to think about that. If they genuinely needed your help, but you're really, really tired, you gotta kind of pace that out, right? Because I'm the person, let's say, I don't know. Let's give a great example. Let's say you have a friend and maybe they're going through some tough times and they call you and they say, hey, I'm kind of hungry. Is there any way that you could take me to get something to eat? You might be exhausted. You have literally just come in the house. You've taken off your bra, your wig, your undergarments. You've taken off your Jordans. You've taken off your boxer briefs. You're about to just chill, right? Well, here's the thing. They made this thing called Uber and Uber Eats, and they made this thing called DoorDash, and they made this thing called Grubhub. So even though I may not get up and take you anywhere because that's not what I want to do. I know that you're going through a tough time. And so I might use those resources to get you what you need, period. So you can get creative. You can absolutely get creative. We live in the 21st century. You can get creative with how you help people out if you know that they genuinely need to be helped out. Okay. But oftentimes you're dealing with entitled people and they're asking you for foolery and you're just like, but you'll get up and do it. And let me take a minute and talk to the ministry people. Yeah. If you're involved in ministry, you also have the right to say no. That's a whole different video. And so if you want the saying no in ministry video, put that down below, because one of the things that I found to be really challenging when I was in active ministry was that people would just they would almost kill themselves in the name of the Lord. And I'm like, I don't think that's in the Bible, but okay, whatever. But right now we're talking about saying no. And here's the thing. You are entitled to your no. I need you to know that. Okay. I need you to know that. I need you to know that if you're tired, if you don't feel like it, if you don't want to, if it's too much, if you made a covenant with yourself that you were going to stay in and relax because you have been running all week, all of that is valid. Okay. And if somebody calls and they genuinely need help, feel free to use your resources that don't include you and your energy and your gas to get them what they need. But if someone calls, listen, and they're entitled, they have a car, they have money, they're not at a deficit. They just think that they can call you and ask you for a favor. You have the right to say no. No matters. Your no is powerful, but it's only powerful if you let it be powerful. It's not going to be powerful if you give us a weak no. If your no is no, but no. It's got to be decisive. So I want y'all to practice, okay? We're going to practice our no. Right now, I want you to say no. I can't hear you, so we'll just assume that you did it. Let's try it again. No. Can you do X, Y, and Z? Ready? No. See how good that felt? Didn't that feel good? Some of y'all probably, that did not feel good at all. I am riddled with guilt, but I'll tell you what, as you begin to come into your understanding of who you are, your full and your favorite self, and to be your own superhero and all that stuff that I've talked about, here's the thing. Let the guilt guide you. Let it guide you. Because that guilt that you're feeling is telling you that, you know what, this is what I need to be doing. It just doesn't feel as comfortable yet. Okay. So let the guilt guide you until you don't feel guilt anymore. All right. That's all I got. Y'all drop a comment, hit that subscribe button, tap that bell. I promise you I'll be back with another video. My name is Stephanie D. McKenzie, and I'm always here to remind you to always be your own superhero. And as I always do, thank you guys for loving and learning and being empowered with me. Talk to you later. Bye.